Hey guys, Garo97 again. This time with a review of the Warhammer 44 scale high-grade Universal Century Gaza C Haman Karn Custom from the Zeta Gundam movies. Starting off with the color scheme. I don't know what went wrong with it, but something went seriously wrong. It reminds me of the yogurt I had an hour ago, and it absolutely looks nothing like the cool blue machine from the line art. Sure, the movie was slightly pinker than the blue line art, but it definitely wasn't like this. I mean, most of the body is like yogurt pink, and then this is like very vibrant purple. It's like the little bits of strawberry or cherry that's in your yogurt. And that is, sadly enough, the best way I can describe this color scheme. And the worst of it all is this is not a color scheme I would imagine for Haman Karn at all. Make the pink white and make this bluer, and that would have been awesome. But yeah, moving on. For others, we also get a very dark brownish gray color for the nose cone. Now we have some gray for the feet, the joints, and a few other little bits and pieces. The one very cool thing is we have some clear green for this scope here, and clear green for the visor. Then, for stickers, unfortunately, we get very shiny purple ones on the wrist guards, and then some very shiny purple ones on the back here. However, the cool ones that we're getting, one shiny silver one that goes underneath the sensor, and that is a very cool sticker, just like with the old F91 model kits. Then we have two yellow ones that go on either side of the Buster Knuckle. Now, on to articulation. The head, as expected, only goes up and down, and really, that's already slightly more than I would have expected for the Gaza C. The arms rotate around all the way, go up nicely like that, and when they're like this, these parts do sit rather nicely flush, so that is pretty nice. One jointed elbow, rotate around, will rotate around all the way if it wasn't for this shield on there. And I have to say, I didn't know that it was actually connected like a normal shield. I always thought it was connected to the shoulders, kind of like the Zaku Warriors, but that kind of works. Will rotate around all the way. Hands are on ball joints, will wiggle around, turn around, and do everything a ball joint does. Then the waist, once again, has a bit more articulation than I was expecting. It actually rotates around about that far, which is absolutely not bad considering, well, what they had to work with, and with all those hoses running down or popping off. So there's actually a little bit of articulation down there and up there. That's surprisingly nice. And side skirts go up all the way. Legs go very nicely upwards. And front skirts are, of course, molded separately. Let's go forward that far. And the back skirts can be separated. Go back that far. And as you can see, they actually go next to the back skirts. And that is, well, that allows for some very nice mobility. The legs will also rotate around all the way, bend at two joints for a very nice bend. Then the legs, then the feet, foot guard goes up and down, and these feet are very nicely articulated because, of course, with the transformation, go forward. So you actually have two joints, one hinge joint at the top and then a ball joint at the bottom. Go forwards very nicely, backwards nicely, side to side, also on that hinge joint, and we'll rotate around all the way. Then accessories. As to be expected, the Gaza C pretty much comes with what it should come with. It has a Buster Knuckle, which actually is very nicely articulated. Once again, for what it is, it's absolutely not bad. It goes up and down, side to side, and comes with a dedicated holding hand. Simply goes underneath there. We also get two beam sabers with very nice yellow beam saber blades, which is something we don't really get to see a lot. Of course, that also means we get a second right hand to hold on to the beam sabers. And the thing with the beam sabers is, you will see that there are these little ribbons on them, and these are very important to get the beam saber to hold into the hand, because it's really all about finding that sweet spot, and once you find it, they're in there very good. But if you just put it in there, it's going to be extremely loose. So really try finding that sweet spot eventually, and they will fit in there absolutely perfectly. And if you don't want to use your beam sabers, you can just store them onto the shields. And the cool thing is, because the handle goes in there, you can still have the beam active, and it will serve as a combat shield. And that's always a cool thing, because you know, when you store your beam sabers, you might as well store them in the best way possible so that they are still kinda usable. And that already brings us to the final feature of this model kit, the transformation. Essentially, the first thing you have to do, pull out the hands, and fortunately, this is the only parts forming this model kit is going to do. Simply have to replace it with these hand covers. Essentially, that would be the top of the hand right here. Simply plug them in there. Then you simply rip off the knuckle buster. Carefully though, come on. And this is really where these very flexible hoses come into play. Simply wrap them around. See, wrap them around and hook it up at the peg in the back. Yep. These then go to the side. Fold them up, and they will kind of click into place. So that's supposed to go. There we go. These are down, and then the entire, oh dear, that wasn't supposed to happen. And that kind of goes into that giant cone on the back. And also these are two very nice beam cannons at the top. The back here kind of gets into place. These rotate around. And this will essentially become the landing mode, also known as Gerwalk mode. We're almost there. Fold these up. And so much for our pretty easy transformation to landing / Gerwalk mode. And then all that's left to do, simply turn these into claws. And unfortunately, as I said, this was the final feature. The unfortunate part here is that the normal Gaza C does come with a stand that would click into here and would allow you to display this as it is in fully transformed mode. But fortunately, you can buy yourself an action base too, and this little connector piece will fit into that hole just perfectly. Or you can just buy yourself a Gaza C or another model kit with a similar action base and simply put them on there. I think that's also what a lot of the Seed model kits come with. So, well, not the Seed models, the Gundam Seed Destiny models, they come with pretty much, with exactly the same action base because it was around the same time. But yeah, that is about that for this guide. The transformation, very easy to pull off though, especially the waist piece here does feel a bit flimsy, but that is because of the way the mobile suit itself is designed, because you know the Gaza C is very much known for falling apart. But the model kit itself is still very solid, even after having done the transformation a few times. Even though this did come off right now, overall the transformation is relatively easy to do. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And the answer is no. For 1,400 yen, I cannot recommend getting this thing. And there are two big reasons for this. One, the color, it's not what it should be. This is not what, these colors are just not Haman. Light pink, yogurt, it's not what Haman's colors are. Look at the Q-Blade, white is absolutely perfect for Haman. If only this very lightish pink had been white with a combination of the purple, that would have been great, but this color scheme is just not doing it. Look at the line art, the cool blue color scheme would have been perfect. This not. Now, the second and most important reason is for 100 yen extra, you can buy yourself a Gaza C production type, which comes with an action base and has a few marking stickers. Sure, they're only numbers, but you get them extra with the 100 yen and the action base, which is very important for a transformable mobile suit. So those things combined, and seeing as how to make yourself an absolutely perfect Haman Karn Gaza C, you would have to paint them anyways. You might as well pick up a Gaza C production type, paint that thing in the correct colors, and you would have yourself a 100 yen action base, which is still significantly cheaper than the more complex action bases Bandai sells separately. All those reasons combined, unfortunately, make this kit something that should be at the very, very bottom of your list. Unless you're a very big fan of the Gazas or a very big fan of Haman Karn and you absolutely want all of her model kits. One thing I have to say is that I wasn't really expecting too much from the Gazas. I've never really been a big fan of them, but building this did make me like this model kit a bit better, because hey, it has okay articulation, a nice transformation, which involves, let's say, no parts formation at all. We're not going to count the hands. Those are, yeah, we can completely understand it. But no parts formation other than that. So that is really good. So I am actually very much looking forward to building that production type Gaza, which I am absolutely sure now I'm going to like a hell of a lot more than this thing. So the Gazas, in the end, they might still be crappy mobile suits that have a very big tendency of falling apart, but at the very least their model kit is not going to do that. And finally, for some size comparisons, here is next to some contemporary transformable mobile suits, the Gaplay and the Gapland. And as you can see, it's not the most intimidating machine of the time. And really, when we bring in the Bahu, it's got a kind of a charm to it, the Gaza design. But for badassery, there are better options out there. And if you want a Haman machine, you know which one to get. Seriously. And to wrap things up, here is next to the standard size Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3. And well, that's all for this review, and see you guys next time. And remember kids, the Gaza C is part of a healthy diet.